Hi, everybody. Welcome to Immersion. We're going to give it maybe 1 or 2 minutes here for other people to kind of start filtering in, and then in a moment we will start. Alrighty. Welcome everybody to the Mechanical and Civil Engineering webinar of Immersion. We have a few orgs with us today, and I believe that we will start with a few videos that they have put so much work into creating, just so you guys could know them a little bit better.
Hi, I'm Haley, and I'm the president of the American Society for Civil Engineers, otherwise known as ASCE. ASCE is a student-run organization that's focused primarily on professional development and also on making connections within our major, which is, of course, civil engineering. However, we also allow any STEM or non-STEM majors. We have several different types of meetings that are all kind of different in nature. Some are socially based so that you can make friends that are studying the same classes as you. Some are focused around study tips, interview tips, getting looks at your resumes, but then we also get a lot of visits from various faculty members and from different companies that are looking to recruit or just teach us more about the field of civil engineering. So while we do a lot of work with professional development, ASCE isn't all business. We also have a really fun couple of competition teams. One that you may have heard of, known as Concrete Canoe, where every year we design and build a canoe made entirely out of concrete, and then we go to a different school to race it. This year's conference is actually going to be hosted in the spring at Brigham Young, so that'll be like a really fun activity for our club to do. In addition to that, we also have a brand new surveying team that competes at that same conference. These teams are a really great way to get involved in the organization and make friends, even and especially if you're not a civil engineer. We've had several mechanical and architectural engineers on our team, and we are really open to anyone just to have a really fun experience. You don't have to have any prior experience in CAD or structures design. It's just a really good way to bond and make something that seems impossible but somehow isn't. Due to the unique circumstances this year, ASCE will primarily be meeting through Zoom, although while weather permits, we're hoping to do a few socially distanced outdoor meetings in person. Those will all be taking place on Tuesdays, time TBD. If this interests you, or if you just want to ask some questions or learn more about our club, please contact us at asce@colorado.edu. Hope to see you soon!
ASHRAE is a global society for advancing human well-being through sustainable technology for the built environment. The society and its members focus on building systems, energy efficiency, indoor air quality, refrigeration, and sustainability within the industry. ASHRAE student branches have served as a bridge between the student community and the professional world by constantly supporting students and exposing them to the current technological advancements. The most important benefit of the branch is the networking opportunities, especially with HVAC professionals, energy analysts, and the well-known academic leaders. Grants and scholarships up to $10,000 are offered to full-time graduate students working on ASHRAE-related technologies. 3 students receiving scholarships to attend the Winter Conference in Atlanta, Georgia in 2019. This year, 4 students were offered scholarships to attend the Winter Conference in Florida. Our branch has also been organizing technical lectures by professors, industrial experts, and technical consultants every month. Now and then, we also visit interesting sites, buildings and labs with advanced heating and cooling technologies. It is always fun to do on-site learning. Please follow our Facebook page for more details on the upcoming events. Join us and enjoy the student benefits from ASHRAE.
The Boulder Seismic Design Team strives to educate members on the principles of project engineering and seismic design while creating well-rounded engineers in the process.
Each year we design a scaled earthquake-resistant high-rise building that we take to a competition against universities from all around the world.
This club is free to join, does not require any large initial time commitments, and is designed to work around students' existing schedules, allowing members to vary their involvement as much as needed.
Early modern rail transport began in 1812. Diesel propulsion introduced in the early 1900s. High-speed rail sees its first commercial use in 1964. Unfortunately, the infrastructure to enable Hyperloop doesn't exist. That's why we're competing in the Boring Company's tunneling competition.
You're muted, Amy.
You're muted.
Thanks, guys. So now that we've watched those wonderful videos, let's have our panel kind of introduce themselves. We'll start with name, major, year, and your organization that you're a part of.
Who's starting?
Oh, we'll just move down the list that we have on the slide here.
All right, cool. That's me first then. So my name is Haley Parnell. I am a junior in civil engineering and theater, and I am the president of the American Society of Civil Engineers.
And then it seems like Roya from ASHRAE is not here today. So let's move on to the next one.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Behrooz. I'm the president and founder of Boulder Racing Team. We're the automotive racing team on campus, and I'm a senior in mechanical engineering.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Wagner. I'm the project manager of CU Hyperloop, and we compete in SpaceX's Hyperloop competition and now the Boring Company's tunneling competition.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Grant. I'm the captain of the Seismic Design Team. I'm a junior in architectural engineering.
Awesome. So let's start with the question here. How much of a commitment is your organization, and are there any requirements to enter your club?
You want to just continue going in order for questions? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, ASCE is super low commitment. We only have a meeting every other week. And you don't have to show up to all of them. You only need like 5 if you want to apply for the ASCE scholarships in a whole year. Once it comes time to build our canoe, that's a little bit higher commitment, but it's however much you're willing to put in, we're willing to work with that.
For the racing team, it sort of depends on which one of the 2 divisions you're on. We have our endurance road racing division, for which probably if you want to be active, about an hour a week is what we'd expect. And for our Formula SAE team, it's a little more high commitment, and we ask for 5 hours a week.
We're similarly looking for high commitment students. So at minimum, being able to spend about 4 hours a week and upwards of 10 plus. We're really looking for people that are hardworking. We care less about majors and experience.
And our commitment, the commitment level can kind of vary. It's pretty much as much as you'd like. Our main competition is in spring. So kind of once it gets close to that, it can be a bit more committed, but this fall we'll have a meeting every other week, closer to October, November, maybe once a week, but some of them be asynchronous, so you don't really have to be live at a specific time, which is nice. We don't really have any requirements.
So due to the pandemic, I'm sure all of our meetings are a little bit different this year. So how is your typical meeting looking like now?
So our first meeting of the year is going to be like outdoor, socially distanced, so people can get to know each other. But after that, we're going to be doing meetings exclusively on Zoom. Concrete canoe meetings will look a little different once that design starts. I believe they're meeting at the captain's house, but it depends on your comfort level, so you can still Zoom in if you're uncomfortable meeting in person. Yeah.
For the racing team, it sort of depends on, again, which division you're on. For endurance road racing, so for the Miata team, it doesn't really involve meeting in person, like normal meetings. We do something called work meetings, where we gather together to work on the cars. We have kind of modified our shop to adhere to all the regulations that are currently going on. So we'll only be allowing 4 to 5 people at the shop at a time. to actually work on the cars. In terms of Formula SAE and our design meetings, those tend to be either weekly or bi-weekly, and they're about an hour-long general meetings where we discuss what's going on with the car, and that's held over Zoom.
Sorry. So Hyperloop is conducting all of its meetings via Zoom, except when we actually have to do engineering, and we haven't determined exactly how we're going to do physical construction yet. But if you're interested in seeing what our meetings actually look like, you're able to go on YouTube and just type in CU Hyperloop, and you'll be able to see all of our meetings, which are recorded and posted.
And then our meetings, we're going to start with, at least this first part of the semester, first part of the year, we're going to do some synchronous kind of workshops. There'll just be kind of videos that we post up that you can join in live or later that you can work along with. And then later down the line, we're looking to do some more live meetings or maybe some distance in-person meetings if that allows once we start the construction process.
Awesome. So do you guys often work with engineers in different fields to complete the projects that you guys work on?
I guess we have a lot of students from different fields, but when it comes to our canoe project, mostly it's a lot of independent research and looking at what past teams and other schools have done. But we do occasionally try to communicate with other schools and kind of get tips from them and just make it a big learning process.
Yes, so for the racing team, it involves students of all majors as well as industry reps from all the majors. Our team is interdisciplinary, and we have a lot of students working from the mechanical engineering department, aerospace department for the aero kit on the cars. We need EEs to work on the electronics for the car, computer scientists to design a lot of the automated systems as well as controls. Yeah, and we also need business students as well. It's definitely very, very interdisciplinary. And we get to work with other universities as well, particularly the local engineering universities, to exchange information. And the competition, Formula SAE competition, it is intercollegiate, so we get to compete against around 80 other schools in California at the end of the year.
Hyperloop draws on majors from the entire engineering school. We have plenty of aerospace, mechanical, electrical. Personally, I'm a physics major. So we're drawing on kids from all over the place. So if you're a hard worker and you're interested in the project, then there's absolutely a place for you to contribute.
And our students from all sorts of fields. We've got our yearly project has a whole bunch of different facets that involve architectural, civil, environmental design, economics, aerospace, all over. So as far as students go, we are over the map for projects, and we have a few mentors that are with careers, but they're mostly structural engineers.
Amy, you're,
Sorry, I keep doing that. So we have a question here of how are the technology or skills that your org has developed been applied?
Yeah, so I think that the skills that we develop in ASCE are really important in a lot of different ways, especially having heard from students who graduated. First, just on the professional level of learning how to talk to companies, learning how to conduct yourself in interviews, learning how to just be a real adult, that's been really important. Outside of that, I think you also can get a lot of experience with CAD and concrete design if you're on the canoe team. And another one that's really big is if you're on the surveying team. Surveying is a really important skill for civil engineers. In fact, most civil engineers' first job, especially while they're in college, is going to be a surveying job because they're pretty like low-level entry work. So it's really helpful to get experience with that.
Yeah, for sure. So for the racing team, in terms of the skill development, it's mainly technical, but we also do teach soft skills like working in an engineering team and whatnot. I think really the biggest skills that we teach are around software use, like CAD, SolidWorks, design for manufacturing as well. We also teach FEA as well as CFD. And we also teach project management, how to behave within an engineering team, and how to communicate findings in form of documentation as well as presentation. In addition to that, we strive to teach leadership through openings on a team, as well as when we see that someone's active and they're putting in the hours, they kind of go through the steps to become a subsystem lead and so forth. So yeah, that's kind of we design and build a car from the ground up. So I don't think very many people know how to do that coming in, and we hope to teach that to people. Yeah.
For Hyperloop, the skills learned are a lot more in line with startup culture. We have to pursue kind of a lean startup method because we don't have a lot of money to work with, and we're on a super tight schedule against a really broad and diverse field of competitors. So something like senior projects is much more keyed into the ideas that kind of Boeing or United Launch Alliance would pursue, while we're focused more on the things that Silicon Valley is kind of working on. So our rules change super rapidly, so everybody on our team is super tuned in to communicating on a dime and being able to pivot the project really quickly. And that, I think, is actually the most central skill that we teach, rather than technical, which is, our team is extremely technical, and that's stuff you pick up. But the key skills that you're learning are how to communicate well and how to work on a team quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, and we do a lot of software work. Is one of the main technical skills you can develop. We do a whole bunch of software that you will use in careers and in internships that people on the team in the past have been able to say, I've used this software on the Seismic Design Team when they're applying for an internship, and that has helped them actually get the internship. And so the technical skills are really helpful. Obviously, it's a great team environment, so you get a lot of team skills and engineering, like project skills. And in addition to that, the conference is actually concurrent with an international conference every year, and that contains a couple of networking events with some really esteemed speakers from all over the world. So that really helps with networking and kind of getting your name out there and getting just talking to some really influential people in the field.
Wow, it sounds like everybody is developing some crazy skills here. I would definitely put any of those onto my resume. So we have Roya who has just joined us from ASHRAE. Do you want to kind of introduce yourself and kind of explain how your meetings are working out this semester?
Hi everyone. I don't know, as an introduction of our organization, do I need to play or video of organization, or I just need to explain orally?
Just kind of how your meetings are going to work because of the pandemic.
In this pandemic situation, like our university policy, maybe we would work online. We would have all plans all online, such as professional speech, such as even visiting, all of them would be online. It would be in a safe side.
That sounds awesome. So moving on to our next question here. If you do extend your work outside of Boulder, how do you guys do so?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Would you please repeat that?
Yeah. If your organization extends your work outside of Boulder, how do you guys do so? And we'll start with Haley here.
Honestly speaking, we talked about that. maybe some people would be responsible for that in the organization, or we may ask some other people in different companies to cooperate with us. Maybe it would be great. We can use their experience. We can have them in our team, such kind of helping us to organize better and to use their experience.
Yeah, so for ASCE, the one time we really get outside of Boulder in our organization is when we go to the conference where we compete. So that moves every year. It's a regional conference, so it's schools from Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and I think Arizona. So like this year it's at Brigham Young University. So you get a chance to like go there for a weekend and network with like both professors and students from those schools and kind of learn more about other civil engineering cultures.
Yeah, so for us, in terms of travel, going to most races includes going outside of Boulder. So we do races locally at High Plains Raceway, which is a racetrack about an hour and a half away. So all the drivers as well as the pit crew get to travel with us to go to the local races. We also do races outside of Colorado as well. For example, last winter we were in Florida at Sebring International Raceway doing a race there. We also go to California. We've raced at Sonoma as well as Thunderhill Raceway. We also, for Formula SAE, it involves travel to California in Fontana to race at Auto Club Speedway, and that's a gathering with all the other universities. And we get to interact with some really interesting people, especially through the SAE side. You know, it's not only the American teams that show up to that. It's also teams from South America, teams from Europe. Eventually, we'd like to attend the European Formula student competitions, particularly in Germany. But those teams are very good, and they have fundings going well past $1 million. So we'll get there eventually, but it's hard to be competitive when they have buildings made for this. So yeah.
Yeah, international teams really kick our butts in terms of funding. So for CU Hyperloop, we're able to get out of town quite a bit. So our competition last year and the previous years was held in LA. And this is a picture of, oh, come on now. There's a picture of me and Elon Musk kind of here. That's Elon, and then I'm right over there. So that's kind of cool. So the competition this year is in a classified location right now, and I wouldn't want to gamble that I'd get in trouble revealing where that might be. So we also do, we're going to host a competition for high school students this year throughout Colorado, and it'll be a digging competition where they're going to be doing a similar project to what our prototype phase is currently. So we're really excited about that, and that's kind of how we tie into the community.
Yeah, and we're outside of Boulder every year, and even when we're in Boulder, we're kind of outside of Boulder just because the structure we design is located wherever that year's competition is, and based on the earthquakes in that location. So we design around the location, the site considerations, then we actually attend the competition in that location against teams from all over the world. We've had all over South America, North America, Asia. We've had a few Europe here and there, but the actual competitions we go to, we've had Vancouver and Portland and Los Angeles this next year. Late spring, it should be in Seattle, which would be interesting, and we'll be just designing around considerations and wherever locations, which is pretty cool.
All of that sounds so cool. I wish I could join all of your clubs. So we have a question here from a student for everyone. They ask, how do your organizations help in the internship or employment process? or do you have any certain companies that you may have direct connections to?
Yeah, so ASCE is really helpful with internships and employment, primarily because we have direct contact with a lot of companies throughout the semester who come and talk to us. Also, the organization is like a national organization and has been around for just about a century. We actually just had our 101st birthday this year at CU. So it's a really old organization and a lot of people have been in it. So a lot of employers will see that you've been in ASCE and they like to hire those kinds of people. In terms of specific companies, we do have like a pretty good relationship with CUBRT, which is a construction company primarily. And they every year reach out to us and ask to come talk, and they really like kind of our club. And on a level like inside, while you're still in university, we have a really close relationship with the Center for Infrastructure, Energy, and Space Testing, which is where we build our canoe. It's in the civil engineering wing, if you've ever been down there. And we have a lot of our members, including myself, who have become employees and like student researchers there as a result of being in ASCE. So yeah, very helpful club.
For the racing team, absolutely. One of the main reasons we get sponsorships and our sponsors like to support us is for access to recruiting from our team directly. If you want to see the companies that support us and that hire from us, you can go to busracing.com, which is our website, and see the list of our sponsors. But it's about 25 companies, and the list is constantly growing. And that want to get access to our team, as well as hold recruiting events that are connected with our team and other Formula SAE teams. In addition to that, going to actual competition, and I hope things resolve by then and we get to have the competition in person. There are usually representatives from all of the major automotive companies and some major aerospace companies as well that do on-spot interviews and recruiting at the event. Yeah, so it's one of our main goals is to get people internship opportunities as well as job opportunities. And as you know, our team is aging. One of the main things we see from the students that are leaving the team and getting full-time positions is that they use Formula SAE and the Boulder Racing Team as one of the main avenues for marketing themselves and setting themselves apart. And I'm sure that's true for other design-based teams here as well, that, you know, it's a really big undertaking and a lot of people use that.
So CU Hyperloop is, of course, directly tied to both SpaceX and the Boring Company, who host our competitions. But in the process of building our pod or building our tunnel digger, we have to partner with community or companies that help us out on the technical side. So last year, or 2 years ago rather, we worked with a company about 20 miles down the road from us called Steelhead. And Steelhead specializes in carbon composite tanks. So we ordered a gigantic carbon fiber tank from them for our pod. That same year, we talked to NASA. We were able to speak with NASA's director of propulsion testing, and she got us in touch with some people at Stennis Space Center down in Alabama or Mississippi, and people at White Sands Test Facility in order to try to test out our pod. I can also say that in terms of jobs, the 4 of our recent graduates, one of whom is a PhD student in aerospace currently, one of whom is working at Blue Origin, another one is working at Black Sky, which is a satellite company that was recently in the news, and another is working at JPL. So that's kind of interesting things that our graduates have gone on to do.
Yeah, we are kind of, one of our main goals is to help people prepare for internships and employment through experience in the team, kind of like the racing team. It's design based, so you get a lot of practice with software and designing and work that you would experience in the real world. That really is one of the main factors that people drive in their internship interviews and employment interviews. And in addition to that, we have a lot of ties to local local businesses from our sponsors and also our former members. We have a few former members who are employed in the area that we are still very connected with and are really interested in getting know and hiring members that were in our team. And as well as the large networking events at each year's conference. Those are big if you're looking for some of the high ticket jobs.
Roya, do you have anything to say on the topic of internships or employment?
Yeah, honestly speaking, as internship or employee career something or everything that help a student to find their future career, our organization provides lots of knowledge by inviting lots of professional people from different organizations. Until now, it was really helpful for students to find their future career by introducing themselves to that people, especially that they are really in a high level, they have high level responsibility on that specific organization, such as NREL and ASHRAE and other kind of organization or companies. It would help them to know about that, to have a contact with them, to represent their resume, and in addition to get familiar with the kind of job that they would have there, and they will understand if they are interested or not. It was really helpful until now, and lots of students found the internship and their future career.
Awesome. So here we have a student asking a direct question to the CU Boulder Racing Team. Sorry, I have to find it in this thread.
No worries. I think I can read it. I can answer it if you like.
Okay, go for it.
So Gaurav Prasad asked if you can work on both the endurance and the SAE cars, or whether you have to choose one. You can absolutely work on both of them. Me personally, I am part of both divisions, and quite a lot of people choose to do that. It totally depends on your time commitment and kind of your interest in both of them. So you can absolutely work on both. And then there was another question that asks about Ryan McKeel. He's a first-year engineering student and doesn't have very much experience, whether he can still contribute to the team. To that, absolutely, yes. It's actually part of our mission statement is to take on students without much prior experience. And as part of what we do is we actually have an onboarding process where we teach CAD, FEA, our systems approach, our project management approach, and a bunch of other useful information to get you all trained up. And then one more last question to the racing team that I saw was whether anyone can drive the cars. Absolutely, everyone gets an opportunity to drive the cars. Whether you drive them at the race, it's based on qualifying and whether you're a safe driver. Cool. I think that was all of them.
Yeah, and I think actually part of that second question could apply to everybody else. For all of our first-year freshmen out there who don't have a lot of experience in engineering, could they still contribute?
Absolutely. Please, we love having freshmen. We love, especially the older students, we really like being able to help freshmen, not only within learning the canoe process and learning professional development, but we really like to help you guys with your classes. So you can make connections with upperclassmen, and they will actually help you not only learn engineering outside of stuff, but directly related to school, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, we love taking on freshmen. The secret is that nothing magical happens. There's no cutoff line from being useless and useful. So when you're freshmen, you're able to contribute. You might not have all the technical skills that you need yet, but you'll slowly accumulate them. And we hope that you stick around for the full 4 years and you'll be contributing from day one. And we'll make sure that that we're not assigning something that's out of the scope of your knowledge, but that should also test your abilities so that you're not bored.
uh, if no one is want to explain, I would say that especially for freshman students, it would be great because it's a great opportunity for them to get familiar with this field, to and decide about their maybe future as a graduate student or as a PhD student in the future, to select their specific field and to select their research project. It would be really great.
Yeah, we are totally open to any sort of people without any sort of experience or freshmen or anyone like that. We have a whole range of tasks we do. You don't need any experience for most of them, and some of them that do need experience, if that's what you're looking for, we can and do train you and teach you on how to do those kind of tasks. And beyond just like the tasks of the club itself, great or inexperienced are great to join the club. A lot like ASCE, we have older members that really like helping younger members. I remember I'd be in a meeting doing my homework, and older members would come and help me out with that and let me know which professors to take, which classes to take, stuff like that, which is really helpful.
So someone here was curious, what kind of events or activities does your organization hold throughout the year?
Yeah, so outside of our regular meetings, we try to schedule a couple of tours usually of different facilities. This semester that's looking a little different, but we did just have a company reach out to us for virtual tours. So possible that that's still happening. And then of course the conference that I've mentioned 7 gajillion times. And we're also all hoping to do a couple of like more social things where maybe we hop on Zoom if the club is really small this year, maybe in person where we just hang out because all of us are friends, stuff like that.
For the racing team, in addition to us working on the cars as a team and doing the design work, we usually hold team potlucks and as well as F1 watch parties. Obviously, with the current situation, that's not going to be quite the same, but we are currently doing F1 watch parties virtually, as well as trying to think of some other events, like maybe going go-karting together in an outdoor venue or UNSER that has taken the precautions to enforce social distancing and other safety precautions. So we would like to do more, but it's unfortunately currently with COVID, I don't think we'll be able to do as much as we want to.
In ASHRAE organization, we would have insight investigation, workshop, and conference. In addition, some kind of meeting which would be held by professionals and leaders of people in industrial environment, something like that. And if people saw or watched the introduction video, all of them has been explained very extensively.
Most of our socializing happens when everybody gets slap happy at like 10 p.m. working on Hyperloop. And then after that, we usually head over to the Dark Horse, which is a bar near campus, and that admits under 21 people until a certain time of night. So we have a lot of fun there. Of course, that's not really an option this semester, so we're going to have to get creative, but backyard barbecues are very likely. We're all pretty good friends, and we just have a good time together.
Yeah, we've got the big event every spring, just the big conference competition that we attend. It's just it's a free trip wherever the conference is. But other than that, we've got our technical meetings and design meetings, construction meetings, workshops, stuff like that. And beyond that, we're looking, just because most of the meetings will be virtual, looking to kind of get some possibly like distant, just social meetings to get to know each other are interesting will be like that. We'll have a lot of other fun stuff throughout the years.
All right, so we seem to have another specific question for CU Racing here. Is the time commitment of 5 hours for FSA, is that how you say it? A yearly commitment or just a near competition commitment?
I would say it tends to go up and down, definitely throughout the season. You know, we're all students, so we're very understanding of your other commitments. So, you know, we understand that some weeks maybe you have a bunch of midterms and you can't put in as much, and that's totally okay. You know, through proper planning, we hope not to work more just because we're closer to competition. We hope to get things done on time and not have to put in extra time as we get closer to it. But you know, I've seen the fluctuation to be anywhere between 0 to 10 hours a week, depending on your availability as well as the needs of the team.
And for Hyperloop, does the 10-hour per week commitment work around student schedules?
Absolutely. So your commitment definitely scales with your time in the organization. So starting out, it's going to look something more like 4 hours a week. And then as you become more involved and as you start to get leadership positions where you're kind of handling a portion of the project, that's when you start hitting the 10-hour a week threshold. We also have various submissions that we have to get into the Boring Company or to SpaceX that definitely leads to an uptick in work. But we do work around people's schedules, and we understand everybody's a student and we all want to do well in school. So if you need to take a week off, that's totally expected and totally normal.
Awesome. And then real quick here, I believe this was addressed a bit earlier, but someone had asked here, what type of community outreach and collaboration between other schools and organizations have you guys done?
Yeah, so I think I mostly answered that earlier, but we do a lot of work with some other engineering schools, like just asking what kind of things they've done with their canoes in the past. And we do reach out to local companies who will sponsor our canoe, and they'll, you know, do work with us in terms of meetings.
In ASHRAE organization, a student with different major can attend, such as mechanical engineering, civil engineering, architectural engineering, and electrical engineering. Therefore, it would be good collaboration. They can cooperate with each other, and all of them can help each other, because all these majors are helpful and beneficial for this organization to increase their knowledge and to attend these activities.
Anyone else want to answer?
Yeah, I can hop in. So I already mentioned that we've got our high school competition that we're going to be putting on this year, where high schools will be trying to build their own prototype tunnelers. We'll also be sponsoring 2 freshman projects. I can't remember for which majors they are. I believe mechanical, but 2 freshman teams. One will be constructing a test bed for a linear induction motor, which is a way of electronically propelling a Hyperloop pod. And then another team will be also constructing their own tunneler as a kind of first try at doing the high school style competition and seeing what they're able to come up with. Other types of community outreach that we do, we collaborate with Colorado Mesa University. So some of the students on our team actually are CMU students that call in to contribute to the team virtually, which helped a little bit in our transition because we already kind of knew how to work virtually with other team members once COVID came up. Yeah.
In community outreach, we every year, this year it would most likely be virtual. We to a middle school or elementary school and teach them some of the basics of like seismic design and lead them through a little workshop. And then other schools, there's a big group that we're in with probably 30 or 40 other schools who also compete in the competition that we work through a lot of the problems with throughout the design process.
Just to add one more thing, we also, CU Hyperloop also hosts a summit of other college Hyperloop teams at Boulder, or usually at Boulder. That'll probably change this year to be virtual, but I think the teams that were involved last year were CUCS, CSU, Boulder, and Colorado School of Mines. I think that was just the 4 of us, but it was a great time, and we got to learn a lot from each other.
Yeah, in terms of the racing team, we primarily collaborate with other universities as well. We work with CU Denver. They needed some 3D scans of our engines, so we happily sent that over to them. We also have sent that over to a few Brazilian teams as well as European teams that don't have access to a 3D scanner the way we do at CU. We also work with Colorado School of Mines, CSU, and basically most major FSA teams around here, not to only get answers question, but also to help each other with parts and whatnot. For example, CU Denver did not order their wheels on time, and they are ordered from Italy, and it takes like 6 months to get them, so they had to borrow some of ours. Yeah, good planning on their end.
All right, so everybody's curious about when your first meetings are, and I've seen that a couple of you have put in the chat, so if you haven't already, please do so now. And I will ask the attendees to please save the chat so you can keep this information past this webinar. And I've also included a link for a forum that you guys can sign up if you are interested in anyone here. All right, I'm gonna do like a 10-second countdown if we're ready to end this. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for coming to Immersion. We'll see you all throughout the school year. Bye.
Thanks, Amy.